What's up, nerds? Welcome to a very special episode of Nintendo Pow Block, the Question Block Rally. This is the episode I'm calling because Ed's here, right next to me.
Yes!
Come watch the video version. We're trying to do something really cool with it. So just because Ed's here, I want to make these episodes extra produced and extra special. So if you're listening, at least come check out the Nerds Gone Rogue YouTube page and check out Pow Block. I'm trying to do something really cool with it, and we're trying to do some cool stuff while we're together in the same space, so it's really cool. Check out our SNES unboxing /history / Let's Play videos. They are up already. Ed and I unboxed this little guy, like we said in the last episode. We're pretty excited. Ed, I'm excited because we've been storing questions probably for like maybe 2 weeks for this episode. We got a lot of good questions. A lot of people mad at me for wanting a multiplayer Metroid.
We would discuss.
We're gonna address it, but I'm really excited for the Question Block Rally. We're gonna kind of skip over what we've been playing since we kind of were recording these episodes back to back.
So you guys know it.
But anyways, dude, I'm really excited. Ed, this is exciting.
Dude,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're just in the chair next to me instead of me staring at a screen where, like, I get distracted sometimes. And people have messaged me saying, "Why are you so distracted?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but it's okay."
Yes.
But anyways, what we're gonna do, we've taken, I think, 11 of your guys' questions, and we're gonna kind of create many topics out of them. So, I mean, yeah, I guess we're just going to get right to it. Remember, you can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com or join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/nintendopowblock, or you can tweet at NGR Radio Podcast. I need to get the Pow Block one up and going, but, or you can tweet it directly at one of us. It's no big deal. That's why we're there. We're out there. We're ready to go. So, the Question Block Rally begins. Our first question comes from Chase Miller with an A. Not an E, with an A. Interesting. His first question: how does Doom, Wolfenstein, NBA 2K18, and FIFA 18 affect the chances of third-party titles on the Switch? Do you think we will see anything like Red Dead 2 or Mass Effect Andromeda make its way over?
This is a good sign that Western third party is making an attempt to support Nintendo. And a lot of people
we've seen Japanese third party support.
Yes, and indie support.
Yeah, especially with Square Enix with Tokyo RPG Factory's games and Project Octopath Traveler, which we can't talk highly enough about. We've seen Capcom talk about, or they've released Ultra Street Fighter 2. They're releasing Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, which I'm actually pretty excited for those games. I skipped them completely just because I'm not the biggest horror fan, but those ones remind me more of what I liked about 1 mixed with the gameplay of 4. So I'm more enticed to play those games. And they've kind of teased that they're trying to get the Resident Evil 7 engine running on Switch. They've teased Mega Man Legacy stuff to a bunch of Nintendo sites out there. Like, there was an image that went up that was really interesting, and I don't know if it was real or fake. It was just an image that was used for the purpose of this article. It was a Mega Man 30th anniversary logo with, like, it had, like, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and then it had Nintendo also listed there. And it was a tweet that said, Capcom's like, "We haven't forgot about Mega Man, more news in December," which we didn't discuss on the last episode because there's all kinds of things we could speculate.
Right.
Is it a Mega Man Legacy collection, like complete collection for Switch? Is it a Mega Man X collection? Like
side games, Game Boy Advance games?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But that kind of stuff is interesting, and Konami has supported Bomberman well into this. They've teased other things they want to, and Nintendo's also come out and said they want to work closely with Konami. The Metal Gear Twin Snakes HD thing has been a tease for a long time. we already know Phantom Pain can run on Xbox 360 and PS3, so maybe that's a possibility at some point. But coming back to the Western side of development, like, a lot of Western development has pushed Nintendo to the side since the GameCube era. Like, they're just like, your console doesn't sell a whole lot. It's not the audience, that we cater to. Even though the audience is calling for you to cater to them. I know. It's just like, that's the excuses they're using. Like, yeah. It's nice to see, like, we talked about, we had nothing but amazing things to say about FIFA on the last episode, which I'm actually more excited to go back and play more FIFA than I am to go grind gear in Destiny right now. That's that was amazing, and it makes me even more excited to see what 2K put in NBA 2K18, which physical copy comes out next week. When this episode posts, I'm really excited. But it's cool to see a big studio that takes their game super seriously in terms of power and what you can do, like Bethesda. Yes. And actually go out of their way to create the custom engine for Doom that they can scale Doom down to the Switch's power and still fit the whole single player campaign on a cart. It's cool to see, hey, Doom is a port. Okay, that's cool. Skyrim's a port. That's cool. What about our brand new game, Wolfenstein 2? Would you like that on Switch? Cool, because we're bringing it. And I think they have been looking at how not only journalists responded to it, how the community responded to it. Like, when people are talking more that you're bringing this to a Nintendo console, because nobody was talking about Wolfenstein 2 after E3. Nobody was talking about it. They'd be like, oh, Wolfenstein 2? Yeah, this looks good. This is a must-have game. That's in a discussion. Yeah. People are now still talking about it, that it's coming to Switch. So, regardless of when it actually comes out next month for the other, depending on if it's good or bad, whatever, I think people are still going to go out and support this game when it comes out next year. Now, this is going to be up to Activision itself. When are they going to get on board to release maybe a Call of Duty or a Destiny or some kind of former game? They can make an original IP, because if Bethesda and EA is going to be on Nintendo's side and they're seeing a good profit and good support for that, then it's going to show Activision that you guys might want to jump on this. Of course, Red Dead 2 is not coming to Switch because we've seen just a story trailer, I should say, for Red Dead 2 from Rockstar. But if the rumor is true that Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to Switch, let's see how that was the other big one I missed. Like, I didn't miss, but I forgot to talk about that last episode. Rockstar is actually, like, kind of teasing Grand Theft Auto 5 for Switch, which, like, we don't really care about Grand Theft Auto, but it actually might entice me to actually play it in portable mode, because like the concept of Grand Theft Auto to me is cool. I just don't think the gameplay is polished enough for me. Like, we talked about gameplay a lot about EA's games last episode, particularly their sports games. Right. To me, Grand Theft Auto feels like that, where like it's kind of unresponsive how I like to play games. Like, Destiny feels really responsive. Nintendo games, Zelda feels really responsive. Mario feels really responsive. Grand Theft Auto, you kind of have to, like, predict your movements almost because of how unresponsive it is. Yes. For me. Now, granted, I haven't played Grand Theft Auto in probably 4 years. Like, since it released on 360, I played a little bit of it. But the memory that really stands out is Grand Theft Auto 4, where, like, that engine created this beautiful world to explore, but, like, getting into cover and shooting an enemy was such a task that like I found myself failing missions when I knew I was doing the right thing, but like I had to like predict where my character was going to go or where he was going to shoot because the controls were bad. If they can kind of like refine that a little bit, which maybe they have, haven't played Grand Theft Auto in a while, right? But if you can do that, and then like if I can take it with me, that's huge. That is huge get for Nintendo. And like it really shows like the biggest companies out there, Bethesda, Rockstar, like their games fit, like them supporting the Switch make all the difference, because then Activision will take notice and be like, oh, everybody loves Rockstar's games and they're putting them on Switch. Why don't we do that?
Right. And I just
remind me, by the way, I just had an idea for Arsenal X, but I don't want to discuss it here. Just remind me I have an idea for Arsenal X tomorrow.
And because even with 2K put it, like you mentioned, NBA 2K18, I think 2K is seeing some good responses to that. So with Western third party, we'll see in the future. I think a lot of support is coming to them. So this is a positive viewpoint. I said this, and you can watch past shows that I said, if Western third parties don't get onto the Switch, they are going to lose out on business. So Bethesda, I feel like 2K, Ubisoft, they have made the right decision to get on Switch because people have been asking for this. And I know people have been coming for Nintendo. Well, they need to go get third-party support. Well, Nintendo did reach out for third-party support. Now, it's up to third-party to do what they need to do. And it seems like those three companies are doing it. I will say this. It's just, I'm thinking of Mafia 3. That would be good to fit on Switch.
Yeah.
You know, with LA, definitely with LA Noire getting
that makes
reemergence and stuff.
That makes me hope. That makes me hope like something like Max Payne 3 would get a second life on Switch.
Yes.
It's like I know a lot of people like Max Payne, but it's not really like Rockstar's kind of premier game in their portfolio. Something else too, like Manhunt. Like we got the sequel on Wii, which is really disturbing. But like, if Rockstar could like experiment with some of these their smaller IP, and then give us Grand Theft Auto, like maybe we will get Red Dead at some point. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't be Red Dead 2.
I say don't even give Switch Red Dead. Give them Bully.
Yeah,
literally Bully. I think Bully 2 would be so fitting for Switch, where Red Dead would be fitting for those other consoles. Because the thing about it is, Bully is not really that violent or anything, and I think a teen game like that would fit the Switch for its audience. Yeah, we'll have Grand Theft Auto 5, but I'd rather see what Red Dead 2 would actually be when it actually releases, because the story trailer didn't reveal no kind of gameplay, so I'm not invested. But I think if Bully 2 came out, I think a lot of people would be willing to get that for Switch exclusively. Like that would be a big win for Rockstar and for Nintendo.
Plus, like, I'm kind of looking at, I'm trying to approach third-party support for Switch in a different way, where like companies have started releasing their back catalog on PS2 or on PS4 in terms of PS2 classics, on Steam in terms of like, just having their old games available for people. Like, what if people took that approach to Switch? What if we got like LucasArts old adventure games? What if we got, a Mass Effect trilogy collection? Like, what if we got, Dead Space? What if we got a lot of like the last two generations kind of up-res and kind of reworked to modern sensibilities and like kind of re-released, similar to LA Noire, similar to like I guess Doom was this generation, but like you know what I'm saying? Like
it would show that those titles still have interest from people, and they would like to see that series return. And I think the climate of gamers have kind of changed, where
or like even like EA, like they want to see interest in Switch. Well, like also this could work out two ways for EA, where like, hey, we're using FIFA for Switch as gauge of interest for titles on Switch. What if you would say there's interest in a new Dead Space game, right?
Yes.
What if they looked at it like, okay, well, we already have the work done on Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. What if we released a compilation, maybe not just on Switch, maybe on all the consoles, but like, what if we released it on Switch to gauge interest in this franchise on this system, so we can gauge for ourselves the interest in a fourth installment of this game?
Can I say it would be the leading Halloween game? Like, you need to, next year, if EA decides to release that compilation, they need to do it in October and let that be the leading thriller Halloween game, and people will buy it on Switch. People have been talking about, every time we mention Dead Space, people have been talking about their memories with 1 and 2. So a lot of people feel like this series needs to come back, and yes, I do feel like Dead Space 3 has hurt it. But if that interest is still there, if it becomes the leading game of 2018 for Halloween, to bring that horror, to bring that genre to Switch, people will pick it up. Mm-hmm. You know, $50, $60. People are willing to go back, high res it, make it HD. People will be like, okay, you guys know how to do motion control with Resident Evil 4. Implement that well enough in Dead Space. And heck, throw out some if they're able to put stuff that got cut from the game into that compilation for Switch or even the other systems, people would love to play that game on Switch. Heck yeah, let me be on the bus ride at night playing that game. You know, people will love that.
Yeah, and other things I was thinking about too was like Ubisoft just released the Ezio collection for PS4 and Xbox One. Like, I think this would also be a good opportunity for companies like Ubisoft or even EA, like, release compilation carts of your older games. Like, I would love to see an Assassin's Creed, like, similar to the Ezio collection, but like, remember that America's collection they released a few years ago?
Yes.
For 360 and PS3, where it was like 3 Black Flag, and then I think it was Liberation was the other one. But what if you put like Black Flag and Rogue and made it like the Pirate collection, or like you release the Americas collection, or you release the Ezio collection, or you release like a special version of Origins that would run on Switch? Like, I think working backwards to move forward is actually smart in the Switch's in the Switch's case, because like a lot of people are starting to have nostalgia for those older 360 and PS3 games, and even Wii games to an extent. Like, we talked about, what if they really, and we'll get into this later, but like, what if they released a Metroid HD collection? What if they released a new Super Mario Brothers All-Stars game where they released the DS, 3DS, and Wii U titles together in one package? Like, what if other companies took that approach to their PS2 or PS3 title, like generation titles? Or, you know, like, I think working backwards for Switch works in this situation, because yeah, the Wii U had that problem where like, we don't want old games, but the fact that the Switch is portable gives these games it gives people a new way to play these games and take these games with them. And, you know, as we get older, we want all the, like, for me, like, most cases I don't get a lot of time to game a whole lot. You know, I can't have that 10-hour marathon session, but with Switch I could have a 10-hour marathon session. I could go play Batman Arkham City now. You know, I could play through the Mass Effect trilogy now. I could you know, collect items in Assassin's Creed. You know, like, I could do all these things now because it's portable. And that was the issue with the Wii U, where like, once you got 10 feet from your entertainment center, the controller started wigging out, and like that was it. You know,
and if Nintendo would do, like, I think they're waiting for the cart size to get like the 64 gigabyte or something like that. Even if they don't do a cart version of it, it would be cool to release those games digitally and be like, hey, if you guys want the instruction manual, just like what they did with the Super NES, where you could download the instruction manuals for it, it would be cool to be like, hey, we released the digital version. You guys could download the instruction manuals to your computer or something, or even your desktop if you want to. Like have your box art like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we have another question.
Before we move on, what's the one game you want to see come to Switch? Like newer games that have been announced, kind of, that aren't the big Nintendo titles. What's one title that's not coming to Switch as of right now do you want to see come to Switch?
Oh, this is very easy. Everybody should know me. Okami HD.
Yeah.
If I didn't get
I can't believe that's not coming to Switch.
Right. If I didn't get Okami, it would definitely be DMC Devil May Cry. Like, I would love to see that. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go further back. with Ninja Theory. I want to see Enslaved come back. I really want that game to be on Switch. I think it didn't get its justice because Vanquish, they just need to hurry up bring that to Switch. But I would love to see Enslaved to come back. Mm-hmm. And I know that story has been completed, but I would love Ninja Theory to actually. I want one of their games on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So for me, I think like the big game that's coming out this year that I really want to play, and I probably won't play it because of how invested I'm in Destiny and just all the other Switch games that are coming out, would either be Assassin's Creed Origins. I would love to have that game portable, and I don't know if it's just not gonna happen for me right now. Like, I really want to be excited for that game because it's the Black Flag team. I think that they are probably the best studio working on Assassin's Creed right now in terms of the story they delivered, and just the gameplay experience is more solid than the rest. But the other game also I think would be perfect on Switch, and I don't know why it's not coming because I just don't understand why it's not coming, is South Park. Like a small RPG with a light art style that, doesn't need to be graphically intensive. Like South Park for me is the perfect Switch game, and I don't know why either that game or the first game aren't coming to Switch.
I think they were already in development and it's been delayed too many times. So I think Ubisoft probably just wanted to focus it being on there instead of trying to do a port to it.
And I wonder if we'll get it later because I was gonna make the you could have made the argument that the Switch is aimed for kids, but we're getting Doom and Wolfenstein. It's no longer aimed for kids.
Well, I think the problem is that there's better RPGs on Nintendo's consoles than it is on Xbox One and PS4. Yeah. So everybody know that I'm not getting the game, but I feel like if South Park and Project Octopath dropped at the same time, I'm definitely getting Project Octopath over South Park. Not saying that I shouldn't get both, but South Park plays to its base, and I could find a better RPG than that. So I feel like Switch owners are not missing out on that game. And even if they were getting it, I think Fire Emblem Warriors and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 will just overshadow South Park. Fractured Butthole. I mean, I understand what it's trying to do, but I'm just like, there's deeper JRPGs and there's more meaningful games for Switch, and that game is just fitting for the X. Because what role playing game is on Xbox One? What role playing game is really on PS4? We got The Witcher 3.
I mean, in terms of
Fallout 4, if you want to see it like that, and Final Fantasy 15. We don't Iron Setsuna. We don't really have any kind of standout RPGs that's leading on PS4, Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of better RPGs coming on Switch than I think than Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, I just think I just really think Ubisoft is missing an opportunity to put a game South Park is still popular in pop culture, and that would draw a lot of people's attention to I just feel like South Park as a pop culture popularity thing, it would draw a lot of eyes to the Switch, being hey, you can take South Park on the go with you, and because a lot of people don't have time for long JRPGs, but a lot of people like South Park, and the last South Park game was relatively short compared to RPGs, but you still felt that sense of progression and stuff.
Right.
So at the same time, it would just draw a lot of eyes to the console and be hey, if South Park is on a Nintendo console, that's cool. I could take it with me.
I mean, that would be cool, but I think Mario and Rabbids is a better fitting for Switch than South Park is. But Corey, I got a question from Muhammad. He asks, what announcements do you think will happen in a December Direct? Do you think we would get Metroid Prime Trilogy or 4 release dates?
As much as I want to say yes, I doubt it. I think they're going to focus on the spring games, because like everything's going to be out. They're going to focus on if there's a direct in December, they're going to focus on probably start with Xenoblade. I would guess because like it'll either have only been out for a short time, or if they do it at the end of November, it'll be coming out. So they'll want to push that game at the beginning. Then we'll probably get a title for Yoshi. We'll get a firm release date for Kirby, a firm release date for Octopath Traveler probably.
The DLC for Zelda and the Champion Amiibos. We'll probably get some more info on that.
I think that stuff's gonna come in November. Like, I think it'll come beforehand.
Well, I felt like the Direct would come in November, in December, because they want to. Even if they do it like the 3DS Switch thing, like they did last time, like with the quick hits and stuff, I think they're going to try to talk about like Pokemon Ultimate Sun or Ultra Sun and Moon. Remind people why that's out, and probably like a new character download. The DLC for Zelda is pretty much probably going to lead. Along with Xenoblade.
Yeah, I also think they're going to talk about the DLC for Fire Emblem Warriors, because they've already announced that they're going to do like 3 packs of DLC.
Yeah.
I think they'll talk about, if there's not a pack out already, they'll talk about that first or second pack of DLC. I think we'll get, and then after the DLC, they'll show a trailer of the Switch proper Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Just so they can keep the Fire Emblem stuff together. I think that'd be cool, because I think they'll show gameplay, so that'll be a new game they'll show. And then at the end of the Direct, Smash Brothers. I think they're going to be like, Smash is coming in 2018. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a Wii U Deluxe version, which I'm assuming it is, because there's not much more you can do to refine that game.
Right. Well, you can.
It'll come with all the DLC characters. Maybe add like 2 or 3 more characters and a few more stages and a few more soundtracks and assist trophies and stuff. But that's my guess. I don't think they're going to push Metroid. I think Metroid's going to be their big E3 thing.
Yeah.
They want that game to lead something. And then maybe they'll be like, Metroid Prime 4 has been pushed to 2019, but we're going to give you this HD trilogy to hold you over. And this is going to be part of our fall push. That'll be like the September, early October game.
Right, because Metroid and Pokemon needs to be saved for E3.
Yeah. I think we're going to hear, if anything that comes out late in the year of 2018, I'm pretty sure they're going to show Pokemon before they show Metroid Prime 4.
I don't think so. I think because Pokemon and Metroid,
Pokemon will probably have its own Direct, because that seems to be pretty.
But for E3, I think Nintendo will want that for E3. That's such a major game, and people have been hyped. Because the thing about, I would say this, and I know this doesn't have anything with the December Direct. I think if they were going to bring anything interesting for the December Direct, it's going to be Animal Crossing. A lot of people want that game
what
for
else
Switch,
I think?
and I think they need to bring it.
You know what else I secretly think they're going to bring? Is like a Donkey Kong Country Returns collection, and it'll be Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze DX for
need
Switch.
It.
Yeah,
literally need it.
I think that would be. There's like this little bug flying right in front of me. I think that would be more. I think that would be easily digestible for people to get those games.
And Platinum also. Yeah. I think
right.
Bayonetta 2 and Wonderful 101. I think, and maybe Vanquish.
Yeah,
like I would love to.
I'm still betting that Platinum is working somehow to get Vanquish on Switch.
Yes.
Like, I really do. Like, I think it's inevitable we're gonna get some kind of Bayonetta 2 at least, maybe 1 and 2. And Wonderful 101 on Switch at some point. I really think that those games are coming. Those ports are coming.
I think Nintendo is working with Nintendo is definitely working with Platinum on something big. I
still think it's going to be Bayonetta 3.
I think so too, because I think after Platinum worked with Nintendo, I think their partnership just grew stronger. Yeah, Nier Automata did good for them. Congrats to them. But I think once Platinum and Nintendo worked together, I think it was a fit. It just fit. like I still say, I think Nintendo made them better. I think if Nintendo made Platinum and Mercury Steam better, there's just no undenying. I think them working with companies work with Nintendo.
Yeah, and I think the only reason around is because they have so many fall games to focus on.
Yes.
And they wanted to really focus on the Bethesda game announcements that are coming this year, that like maybe they want to save their 2018 stuff for a direct where like, okay, we've got Odyssey, we know it's great, we've got, you know, Xenoblade's coming, and that'll be the last 2017 game in this direct.
Right.
We're going to focus on the first part of 2018. Here's our lineup for the first 6 months until E3. Like
April, I think. And
first week of January, your Bayonetta collection is coming. The first week of February, Wonderful 101. Like, and then we got a big game once a month this cycle. What if we get like a big game every 2 weeks? Like, it'll be like Bayonetta 1 and 2, and then Kirby, and then Lost Sphere, and then Kirby, and then Wonderful 101, and then Yoshi, and then Octopath Traveler, Fire Emblem, whatever Platinum is, like whatever else Nintendo pulls out, like Wolfenstein, like every like through April. That's like eight games we just listed off at January through April.
Exactly.
Like,
you know, we've never talked about how the Nintendo Directs should be released. So, we never got a full schedule how the Direct goes for Nintendo. But, you know, I have an idea of how, I think this year what they've been doing has been, like, really working for them. So, we got, like, the Indie Direct in February, a Spring Direct in April. We got E3. You know, even if the Pokemon want to have their Directs, like, separate Directs for them, that's cool for, like, little fill-ins, like 7-8 minutes. We got another Indie Direct in September, or was it in August? I think it was in August. Wherever that Indie Direct was. I think the Indie Direct for August is like really good. And then we got the Fall Direct for September. I feel like November is good for a Winter Direct. If it does happen, because see, December just feels so weird for some reason. I think a Winter Direct in November is just fitting right there.
Yeah. Well, the thing about, like, I understand, like, after E3 kind of kicks off convention season, you know, like, yeah. I mean, even though we get, like, CES and PAX and stuff, and in the spring, like, E3 really starts convention season, and so, you know, I think Tokyo Game Show is happening. I think Nintendo wanted to present something around that time, and it's like, this is a good time to present a bunch of stuff, because let's face it, they've got a lot. They themselves have a lot of huge titles coming out, plus a lot of indies and third party. Like, I think it was good for them to have something for this fall. I actually think September's a little bit too late. Maybe a late August Direct would have been better. But at the same time, it's like I like them positioning these directs throughout the year, like every 2 or 3 months apart. You know, maybe focusing more on one game and then little sporadic, you know, whatever. But we got 2 huge directs that were just like boom, 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 boom. Like the 3DS stuff was like they had the checklist. They're showing you what they're going to talk about. And then like question mark, question mark, question mark. What's this? You know, like,
yeah, I like that. I like the hidden stuff.
I know. It's like, well, here are the things you know about, but there's one here that you don't. So we're going to sneak it in here. And it's like, what are all those question marks? What are they? I don't know what they are. What are they? And then it turns out to be Doom and Wolfenstein for Switch. And I'm like, ah.
That one through, I think everybody was like, getting their eyes just like, what?
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
It's like, these 2 Bethesda games are coming. And they did it. So what was so funny was they did it so nonchalantly. like yeah, Doom and Wolfenstein 2 is coming. And everybody on the internet was just like, wait, what just happened?
I know.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. I like the directs a lot. I think they're more. I think I get more out of the directs than the E3 press conferences. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think Xbox's conference was great, and I think Sony did an okay job of doing. I mean, their directs or their conferences in the past have been better than this year, but overall they give a good presentation. But I think the directs kind of add that Nintendo personality to it, where I think, I think Xbox is doing a better job putting personality into their conference, whereas like Sony did do a good job, and now I feel like they're kind of regressing into like, okay, E3, we need to show something here, but PSX is our thing type situation where like Nintendo's like, okay, our directs are focused, we have personality behind them, we have the jokes and stuff in there, like we have good trailers to show off and stuff. So I feel like the directs are a great way to communicate with your fans, and now more and more people are realizing that like, okay, Nintendo's back, so now the directs are more popular, which makes me feel like we may get them more frequent just because they're more popular, because more people are owning their systems.
I think a lot of people love the directs, and it took a while for it to get to where it's at. And I think once Iwata passed away, people were really worried about like what's going to happen to it, because the directs really meant stuff to a lot of people. Like it was a way to market and get communication across from fans. So that's really good to see that the directs are back and they're stronger than ever. I like the new format that they're going on. And I will say this about Sony. I think if they watch their TGS performance with their conference, I really like that style. There was something about the TGS showcase, and I was just like, Sony needs this for E3 and maybe PSX when they come to the PlayStation experience. I think what Microsoft did with for Gamescom, I think would work better more than what they did at E3. Their E3 presentation was good, but I kind of like that intimate conference that they had at Gamescom. It was really cool. I like that behind the scenes. Not showing too many games, but like if they take a break, these are the indie games and upcoming trailers, and then go back and talking a little bit more to the developers, because a lot of Microsoft we don't know and they don't have much yet. But I think that would be fitting for them.
Yeah. So directs are cool. I want more directs all the time.
Yes.
So, well, the next question comes from our good friend from Secret Friends Unite podcast, Todd Oxtra.
Love him.
I love Todd. Although, Todd, the fact that you're only interested in Mario Odyssey this fall makes me sad. But it's okay. Has the Switch started taking time away from doing non-gaming activities due to being portable, reading, TV, movies, etc.? No, not for me. I think it actually, like, allows me to multitask, actually, because, like, my wife and I watch a lot of shows on Netflix and stuff, and, like, the Switch allows me to do some things in the games where, like, yeah, I do want to see the big cinematic stuff, most of it on the TV, but, like, in Zelda, like, the reason why I put over 200 hours into Zelda was because, like, we were watching TV, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go hunt down some Korok seeds. Oh, I'm going to go hunt down this weapon I really want to keep in my inventory. Or I'm going to go do some shrines and stuff. And then I save the Divine Beasts for the TV. I saved the story pieces that, I mean, like, I had to try to, like, guess it because I hadn't played it. I had to try to guess it and stuff. But, like, I saved the big cinematic moments for the TV experience. So, like, I think Nintendo in general has done a great job. I think indie games are also fit for this, where like again, we talked about this before on the last episode, where like Nintendo does a great job of curating their games into, hey, you can sit here and have a bite-sized experience for 15 or 20 minutes, or you can spend a grand 3 to 5 hour gaming session and still have a quality experience. And so I think the Switch has helped with that, and I have found myself playing more games this year than I have recently because of the Switch, but at the same time, I'm not losing out on like TV time with my wife, or reading stuff that I want to read, or anything.
Or
you just like, it just depends on what mood you're in. But like, it is exciting to have the Switch and be like, oh, I can watch TV and play games without using up the TV.
Right. It doesn't take my time from hanging out with friends. It hasn't taken my time for going for walks or watching movies or reading a good book and stuff. It's part of doing all of those things. Like, gaming and non-gaming stuff all could work together. It's just like you said, it's your mood. I do a lot of gaming because that's that hobby with me, podcasting stuff is part of it. But I also, when I go see a movie, I come back and I want to talk about it. If I read a book, I want to talk about it. So like the Switch is just added on to me really playing games, but it hasn't hindered me from doing all the other things. Like I like doing other stuff instead of gaming sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not much other time, but I like anybody who listens to NGR radio. Like the running joke is like I don't know anything about music. Like, but like I would rather play games than watch TV. I would rather play games than watch movies unless it's something that I really really want to watch. Mm-hmm. Like gaming is the one thing where like there's a game out there to where like I don't necessarily have to be in the mood to want to play games, but I'll still play games because there's that one game that I want to kind of just play without thinking. Like Tetris is a great example of like I don't really feel like playing games, but I want to do something that will like pass the time and kind of like allow me to do something while I'm watching TV, because like for some reason I always have to be doing something while I'm doing something else. It's just how my brain works. Yeah. Like I just have to be doing something while I'm doing something else. And so like I didn't really watch TV like at all until I met my wife. Like I didn't have cable. I had Netflix, but I didn't have like Amazon Prime or like real cable service or anything. So like the only time I would watch TV would be like, oh, I'm going to watch this thing on YouTube or listen to this show on YouTube while I'm playing a game, or watch this show on my laptop while I'm playing a game on my TV. Like, those were the TV experiences I had before I met my wife. And then, like, we started watching shows together, and now I'm kind of back into TV a little bit. But at the same time, it's like, I would also rather be gaming than any other form of consumable media.
Like I like to incorporate it all because I'm a person that's really big on narrative and stories. I've took a creative writing class, and writing and character arcs and plot points and stuff like that. I'm very big on. So gaming is part of that, but I like to go see a movie and experience it. I like to of course listen to podcasts, but I like to actually eat food a lot and like talk about it, because like sometimes I feel like the flavor is like it's almost like a character itself. Like stuff with food is almost like a story itself. And so I don't think Switch, like for me, hinders anything from my outside stuff. Like I love doing this, because if I didn't, I would just literally be stuck at home just playing video games and not having anything broader to expand my creativity or my hobbies and stuff.
Yeah, like the thing is too, like one of my goals in the next coming months or so, like you're leaving here in a couple days, but like that this next week, well, the week you're hearing this, I would like to really get back into art and kind of like those are the things that I want to get back to, where like I enjoy interacting with things and watching things play out. That's why I like video games so much, is like, I can interact with the story I'm watching, or like interact with the things that are happening on screen, which is where I think watching TV kind of bores me, because it feels like I'm not doing anything. And I think like part of that is because I enjoy video games so much, is like it allows me to multitask without really multitasking. Like I have to have something in my hands at all times, and like moving the joystick, moving my character around, jumping around like as Mario or whatever, like allows me to feel like I'm multitasking without actually multitasking. Whereas like I just said, like watching TV and just kind of like sitting like this, kind of it's kind of boring to me.
It relaxes you too much, and you'd be like,
yeah, and like I don't like that feeling. But like it's something like I'm gonna get back into art, and the one thing I'm gonna have going though is like a podcast or a YouTube video or a Netflix show. Like I've been really trying to catch up on Gotham, which I do know a lot of people don't really care for that show, but I like that show.
It's really good. I like Gotham.
But you know, I really want to get back into art, and that is the one thing in my life I feel like video games have kind of taken priority over my creativity side. Now, like the website stuff and the YouTube stuff that we do and the podcast have fueled that creative side of me.
Yeah.
But there's just something about sitting at like this glass desk with like the lights coming up underneath the desk. Like there's the little desk lamp, this one right here. I put it underneath so like I can see the lines better, and like having that tall lamp aiming down at the thing just so like the whole space is lit up, and you know, having either your inspiration or whatever you're trying to draw, or like I like to draw a lot of like Disney style characters, so like I'll have like pictures of them like kind of scattered over here while I have my drawing over here, and have my headphones in, listening to a podcast, that kind of stuff. And you know, that's one part of my life where I'm like, man, video games have kind of taken over that part of my life, and I really do miss it. And you know, if not this month, like I mean I need to get some stuff done this month, but like that's kind of like the focus of like a New Year's resolution type thing, where like I want to make it a goal to get back into doing stuff like that.
Yes, it's funny that you mentioned art. When I listen to music, it makes me want to create, and it makes me want to like write stories or write a blog. But I used to do that back in the day. I'm not a good artist, I admit, but when I hear some music or even a band I never know, it's like sometimes I would see EGM's old ads and I would try to imitate drawing that, and I would just spend time listening to music, like drawing it, not putting the paper over the thing and just copying it, like literally trying to draw that. And that's one thing I do want to get back to is drawing and stuff, which I have plans to do. Like that Monday after I drop you off at the train station, like that's my Monday. Like we finished the Destiny raid, and yeah, I'm sorry guys, I blew the cover. Okay, he's already gone by the time this episode goes up and whatever. But like that's my Monday, right? Is I'm gonna sit here and draw. Like I'm gonna leave the desk like this when you leave, because A, Sana and her sister need to film more videos, and I don't feel like moving it back. But B, like the fact is, like I want to start drawing, and this is gonna be a cool way. Like our old TV is in the game room, it's right there, and like I'll be able to throw on the Apple TV and throw on Gotham, kind of tune out, like it's one of those shows where you can like, even if you miss like 10 or 15 minutes of not paying attention, you can still follow what's going on in the show, right? Because just the way that show's written, the big twists happen kind of like, if you watch TV shows, serial TV shows, you know when the big twists are going to happen like 15 minutes in, and then you'll get one like 35 or 40 minutes in, and then you get one at the very end, the cliffhanger that leads into the next episode. So like you can kind of get that rhythm down in your head when you need to pay attention. But yeah, I can't wait to start because like I want to get some cool Destiny fan art going. I want to get some I want to get some Zelda fan art going. I need to get my wife's anniversary gift done, which is I'm not gonna spoil it here, but yes. We have a question from Lisa Goodman.
Also, Secret Friends Unite. Yes. You should listen to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, by the way.
Yes. My son and I want to know your opinion on how Luigi will be in Odyssey. As a playable character, can you only possess him with Cappy? Only playable after you beat the game?
I think it's going to be a traditional Mario game where, you could play as Luigi in Galaxy. Mm-hmm. I wonder if you'll be able to I wonder if they'll just take that idea where, like, when you beat Galaxy, if you get a certain amount of power moons and you beat the game, like, you can go back and play
as Luigi.
I
think so, yeah. I think this one is really focusing mostly on Mario as the main game. So.
Yeah. That'd be cool though if you just find Luigi out in the world and you throw your cap at him and Mario is possessing Luigi. Mamma mia!
That would be a little bit weird. But yeah, I think if you are able to play Luigi, it's after you beat the game and you get this moonshine.
Yeah. So. This one is something I've been pondering for like 2 weeks, and I wish I would have sent these questions to you earlier. But like, Brandon Morgan asks, "What do you want from a Switch Pokemon RPG?" I'm gonna go first because my answer is really simple.
Mm-hmm.
I want a fully 3D / realized version of Pokemon Red and Blue. I just want that region, but I want like you go into like the towns, but there's more than like one house there. Like there's just like kind of like I don't want to say GTA style city, but you know what I mean, like where there's multiple buildings and you can go up and down streets and you go into people's backyards to catch certain Pokemon, or like, you know, just fully kind of realized versions of these towns, and just keep the Pokemon count small enough to where it's manageable to catch them all, because like I like the fact that there's a lot of variety in Pokemon.
Yeah.
But the thing that scared me off the most from Pokemon after Red and Blue, well, mostly Gold and Silver because I played a lot of Gold and Silver too, but like especially after Red and Blue was like, I thought it was so challenging to catch all 150 Pokemon. And then Red and Blue or Gold and Silver come out and there's 150 more, and now we're up to like 800, I think, close to 800. And my OCD collect everything style brain, it's so hard for me to turn off, especially for a game or a franchise that I love.
Yes.
Like that's literally why I got all 900 Korok seeds in Zelda, because I could not stand to know that there were more out there. You know, and Horizon, like I liked that game so much that I wanted to get the Platinum Trophy. Granted, it was my first Platinum Trophy.
Congrats.
But like now that I see that one Platinum Trophy in there, I'm like, I need to go get more. You know, like in Destiny 2's Platinum Trophy is actually relatively easy. I think I'm actually going to be able to do that one.
Yes.
But just Pokemon, knowing that like they give you in the Pokedex when you open it up, and it has like blank spaces for all the Pokemon, and you just scroll down and you see all these blank spots, and like it just drives me nuts. So like, and a first go around for a Pokemon RPG, now you can do wonder trading and all that, but like the official count for the game, I want it to be relatively small. But you can utilize them in different ways, and just a fleshed out kind of traditional JRPG with an openish world. Okay. That's what I want.
That's what I want. Two things that I want for this one. I want, of course, I want 303 battles, but I would love to have it almost like at some point in time, your mini game is like a Final Fantasy style 16-bit game, or Game Boy Advance, let's just say, or even 3DS. 3-man team of Pokemon, and your mini game is getting through a quest, like almost a side quest. And when you get to an end boss, you all three guys work together to, you know, defeat that one Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And depending on how many points or whatever you get like a special reward that you only could get, like a special super move from that company or something. I'm not worried about online feature, but I would love for a season pass DLC to be all that Pokemon from the older Game Boy and events, like kind of almost even up to, I would say up to Black and White. Don't put Sun and Moon on it, but up to Black and White 2. I would love to see all that Pokemon. Like if you pay $20 for a season pass, so you finish the original Pokemon game. So now they dropped in a new game that's about 20 plus some hours, and it's all from that one region of Red and Blue, and then Gold and Silver, and then you can release it like every 2 months. That's how you get your 800,000 Pokemon, and everything is included, so you don't have to buy a different version of that. So Pokemon
they would just
game.
Roll out content similar to like what they're doing with Splatoon, but like on a massive scale.
Yes.
Where like, okay, you get this whole game for $60, but every 2 months we're gonna unlock a new region for you to explore, new gyms for you to battle, and then that's how you progress. Is like it's almost like the way they release Splatoon content and like a Telltale style game, where like this is how you advance. Is we're gonna just keep releasing content every like 6 weeks will release a new region or a new couple gyms in a new region or something.
Or yeah, like, okay, so Red and Blue is for 2 months. So every week you get 10 Pokemon, and you keep, going till you unrelease them. And then, bam, now it's Gold and Silver. Every 10 Pokemon or 20 or whatever. Like, they wrote it out that way. So that way, when you do collect the Pokemon and, like, level up, you have time to collect them. Like, go out and do stuff like that. And like $20, I would literally pay that for a season pass. But yeah, that's what I want to see in a Pokemon RPG. But we shall see what Nintendo reveals at E3 or whenever they decide to reveal it.
Yeah. Okay, so our co-host from Arsenal X, which is our Xbox podcast, the Xbox. He asks, if we get a chance to see more collaborative games like Mario plus Rabbids, what's something you would like to see, and what company/team would you like to see it be with other than Ubisoft? I think we'll see a lot more collaboration. Like, I honestly think we're going to see more.
It's time for Nintendo Capcom to bring back Legend of Zelda for Switch/3DS.
You think it'll be like a top-down?
Top-down, yep.
Yeah, I think that's how Nintendo's going to get a majority of third-party support. Still, to be honest, don't get me wrong. I love that Bethesda is bringing Doom, and like FIFA's great, and the future of third-party looks more promising than ever. But I still think the majority of third-party support is going to come from Nintendo going out and like allowing these companies to pitch ideas, and Nintendo helping them fund a third-party game for Switch.
Okay, so you're gonna hate. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this.
No, I'm not.
Nintendo Ray Forward getting back together to do Urban Champions and to do Gyromite and
nobody wants Urban Champion.
I say
Duck Hunt I will accept.
Urban
Champion I will not accept.
Gyromite, I would love to see what Ray Forward can do with Nintendo with Urban Champions. Like, can you not make it as a fighter, but make it up as a beat 'em up, or even get back with or even get with Ray Forward, and let's see if they could do Black Belt. No, Black Belt is. I'm sorry, Kung Fu. Black Belt is Sega Master System.
I was like,
wrong game. I'm sorry, Kung Fu. I would love to see Nintendo, and I think Irem did that game, but it was under the Black label for Nintendo. So I would love to see actually Nintendo and Way Forward to get back and do a fighting game like that. But Urban Champion, I would love Way Forward to touch.
Speaking of fighting games, I would love to see Nintendo go to either 2K or EA and have like one of their teams doing like a not like a simulation boxing game, but like an RPG style punch out game, where like it would be boxing. It would be more like Ready to Rumble used to be, where like you have Little Mac or create your own character, whatever. Maybe Little Mac's your trainer. Maybe that's the evolution of this, where Little Mac's your trainer now, and you create your own character or whatever, and then you go through like a career mode. Like, it'd be more like a dynasty mode in what Fight Night used to be. Yes. But more of the play style of Ready to Rumble, where it'd be super cartoony, really cool. You box the I guess villains from Punch Out.
I wouldn't go to EA. It would have to be Drinkbox Studio.
No. Here's the thing. Like, I think Fight Night is one of their best franchises.
Okay.
In terms of mechanics and how the game works, and like they have not done anything with Fight Night. Do you want it in a graphical style like a Fight Night? No, I don't need. I don't need that. But I would like to see it like Ready to Rumble. I would like to see the cool cartoony aspects of characters. I would like to see them be over exaggerated for the archetype of boxer that they are.
Would you do that? Would you do that version for Switch, and then like for 3DS, it'd be a different company like making it Like,
yeah, well, like you could do the Switch version like that, and then you could do like an updated version of like similar to the Wii version, but have someone like I don't know, maybe Way Forward. I don't know if they do a lot of like boxing games, but like you could do something like Way Forward or Yacht Club or something.
Yeah,
really like put their chops into something like that,
or like Inside Creates or something
Yeah.
like that for 3DS.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I would like to see from that. But at the same time, I think like that's the way Nintendo's going to get third-party support majoritively, and like they really seem to be excited about what Ubisoft has to offer, particularly, and also Konami and Capcom. I think we're going to see more collaborations with them.
Yeah, it's time for that. Time to get that old school. So we have a question from Semi Commodore. What types of games do you think Nintendo could do to promote their female characters? Besides Samus, I feel as a female gamer that Nintendo doesn't really go out of their way to make female-led games. So, to answer this question, Nintendo doesn't have a lot of female characters. Hear me out. A lot of their female characters are in the Mario universe. And, of course, Samus. But we only have Princess Zelda. We only have Princess Zelda really that's known in the Zelda universe. And, of course, we have other games and stuff like that. Like, the only really game, the thing about females from a Nintendo property is Hyrule Warriors. To get the character selection from that game, majority of that is female characters. So what Nintendo personally would have to do is they would have to actually make new IPs with female-led characters.
Well, see, like I think the interesting thing would be to, if you did use existing franchises, what if they made a Legend of Zelda game where you were Zelda? Like, I think that would be cool, especially, you know, we saw how strong Zelda could be in Breath of the Wild. Like, what if they made a semi-sequel to Breath of the Wild where you played as Zelda, like maybe, or even a prequel where you're like playing as Zelda, trying to figure out how to fight off Ganon before you can resurrect Link.
It would have to be a Western third party doing it, because Japan and Nintendo Japan would not do it.
I'm just saying, like, that would be a cool idea.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Or, I mean, what if they brought, remember Super Princess Peach from the DS?
Yeah.
Like, I think that they would try to do something like that again at some point for 3DS, but like, I don't really know. Besides like Mario and Zelda, I think Nintendo has a lot of characters that are designed to be gender neutral, like Yoshi and Kirby, and, you know, even some of the Star Fox characters. Like, I mean, I feel like, you know, and then like you get something like Donkey Kong where you have Dixie Kong, like, you know, you could do something like Donkey Kong Country Returns but with Diddy and Dixie again. I don't know. I think Fire Emblem does a good job of having female-led characters. Like, you know, when you choose your character, you can pick a male or female, but it's like story still revolves around that character being like kind of gender neutral to an extent. You know, I think Fire Emblem does the best job out of all the series, besides Metroid.
Well, yeah. I think with female-led characters coming from Nintendo, and you have to think about this as Nintendo Japan versus Nintendo of America. So you gotta keep that in mind.
It's also a culture, like what you're saying is a cultural thing,
yes.
Where Japan is very much still, like, as many advancements as they've made in the video game industry from a technical level, they are still a male-oriented, like, you know, male kind of distinct culture, you know, where, you know, where Western developers have kind of taken that approach, where you see Sony doing Horizon, where you see, you know, Microsoft doing some things with female characters in the Halo series, particularly like Reach and and stuff, and then you see, Gears introducing female characters. You see, what was the other one I was gonna say? I forget what the other one was.
It's a lot. Yeah, so you gotta kind of think of it that way. I will say though, I kind of will love to see a new female lead from Nintendo, and it really don't have to be like in a like sci-fi or anything like that. It could be like a not platinum game. It could be like a platform game. It could be a role-playing game.
To be fair, like Splatoon, like the Inklings are very like still kind of like a gender neutral thing, but like the more popular characters in that game are female.
Females. Yeah.
Like why am I blanking on the name?
Girl?
Like Callie and Marie, or like the new DJs Pearl and Marina are very popular. A lot of people like the Inkling girl. They prefer the Inkling girl over the Inkling boy.
So. Nintendo marketed them as that.
So I mean, Nintendo, I feel like in terms of Japanese development is doing better than most, but at the same time, like Nintendo is one of the only Japanese companies who is more Eastern focused than Western focused. Like you see Capcom doing Resident Evil, but it has more of a Western focus now than it did in the 90s. You see Konami kind of, especially with Kojima before he left, like, yeah, Metal Gear stars a man, but there's prominent female characters in that storyline, so Nintendo's kind of in this weird spot where they're still Japan first, Western later, which they're changing that because Zelda's a very Western game, in terms of design. And
if you look at like Animal Crossing, that's kind of gender neutral, but they kind of marketed more to females. If you look at Style Savvy, that is a heavy base game marketed to females and stuff, and it deals with styles, but it would be cool to see even that game being like marketed for boys. Just saying, because a lot of guys don't think about fashion in that sense when it comes to video games. So for this question for a female-led game with Nintendo, trust me, for me personally, I feel like they have to make a new IP. They have to make a new character.
Yeah,
start off with
I think they could shoehorn their existing characters into games like Zelda, for example. I think that could work, but at the same time, like a lot of people are going to feel like it's shoehorned, and so I think Nintendo needs to build a new IP from the ground up, or really deliver Metroid. I can't wait for Metroid Prime. But yeah, so
and that's kind of really for like any company, even with Sony and with Microsoft, just like for any company. Like
you see the success of Horizon. That game was built from the ground up with the female character in mind, and like Sony did a good job with that. So
and Tomb Raider was like one of the biggest female-led games that wasn't Princess Peach.
It's still the best game of this generation, I feel.
Right. So I think in the future we'll see. Hopefully we see more. And if Nintendo tries it out and brings it out, we as gamers, whether you're female or male, you're gonna have to buy the game because you're gonna have to Nintendo to support that. You would like to have more female led games.
Yeah.
So, Corey, I have one for you from @COD fan.
Yeah.
Why do you want a multiplayer Metroid? Did you play Federation Force?
Yeah, I did. And I liked it. It was real good. Oh, well, it wasn't real good. It was good. Look, I've said this multiple times on Pow Block. I've said this on the Warp Whistle podcast. I've said this on NGR. I've said this on multiple guest spots. I think the type of game they developed was a cool idea, and it fits within the Metroid universe.
Yes.
Bounty hunt, I think you're part of the military in this game, but like the fact that you can create your own bounty hunter, like I would almost say rip it part for part from Destiny, where like you have like 3 or 4 like archetypes of a bounty hunter. Maybe you have a tanky bounty hunter that's bigger, but he's slower, but he can take a lot of damage and deal a lot of damage. Maybe you have like the sniper type hunter type character from Destiny, where it's very, you're pretty much a glass cannon. You can run real fast, but you can't take a lot of damage, and it benefits you from sniping and staying that mid to far range. Or you can take like, I don't know if like a warlock with like magic powers would fit in a Metroid universe, but you could have something similar to where like a healer almost, where like you can take a lot of damage, but you can't give a lot of damage, but you can give benefits to your teammates by healing them, giving them boosts in certain ways. So like, I think that aspect of a multiplayer type game would really work in the Metroid universe.
Yes.
I honestly think about 80% of the flack that Federation Force got was it was stuck on the 3DS with an unoptimized control scheme.
Mm-hmm.
B, it came out in a time where we hadn't had a Metroid game in a long time.
Right.
And people were still sour on Other M, which I personally don't think Other M was that bad. It wasn't as good as Metroid Prime, but I think it was I actually really liked that game a lot. I think those were the issues with Federation Force. And then when I played it, like, again, I feel like it wasn't catered to a single player experience. It was meant to be played with your friends, and they can learn from that. They can bounce, stuff like that. I still think like...
But the thing about it is that if they state that, know that when you're getting this game, this is for multiplayer use.
I mean, they did, but like...
a lot of people didn't take that to heart.
A lot of people think like, well, if it's a multiplayer game, why are you putting it on 3DS? Because, I don't know, like a lot of kids get together with their 3DSs, but like us as adults, we don't have a lot of time to gather 2, 3, 4 people to sit around a table with our 3DSs. We would rather be using a TV or a computer monitor or something to be playing our multiplayer games. So it was the same thing about Triforce Heroes, where like it was a cool idea, but why is it stuck on the 3DS? Why isn't this like a Wii U eShop title, an online experience, etc.? But I still come down to the fact that like Nintendo likes to experiment with things on the 3DS with their titles, and which is why I think we're going to get another version of Federation Force on the Switch at some point. They see these games as services. I think they are more knowledgeable than ever about the Western audience and the way that online gaming is going, which is why they're building the $20 online service. The Game Pass, I think they're looking at Xbox, the Game Pass, and they're like, oh, well, that might be a natural progression for Virtual Console. Yes. I really think they're looking at that. But the big thing is the games for service thing. I think they want that. I think they want a piece of that pie, and I think they're going to do that in either Federation Force or maybe whatever Retro's working on. Like, you know, whether it might not be Metroid, but it might be coming in the form of a Federation Force style game. Maybe not quite as in-depth and complicated as something like Destiny or The Division, but you will be able to team up with friends online. You'll be able to go on missions or maybe these semi-open worlds, explore these worlds, find like the way Destiny does strikes or the way Division does expert missions, where you go in, you fight enemies, you get to the end of the whatever they want to call it, this mission, and you fight the boss. Multiple stages of this boss where take it down to a third of the health, it changes its mechanics a little bit, and then the end will change mechanics again. Those style of things. And, I liked Federation Force. I think it was a good idea. I wish it was on a console that wasn't in a handheld form and that I could play with friends. That for me, that was the issue. Like, I didn't have friends to play it with, for longer than like 15, 20 minutes, maybe, because everybody's schedules are so different.
Right.
And there's other games people are playing that, quite honestly, have a little bit more appeal and a little bit better. you know, I still come back to, I think Microsoft should do this with Halo. You know, I think like they could do a spin-off Halo game that's similar to Destiny, and I think it would go over great for them.
Oh yeah.
To give Xbox the leg up on Sony, because Sony doesn't really have a franchise they can do that with. You know, maybe Gears, but I see the first-person shooter space a more viable platform for a game like that, which is why I think, again, coming back to Metroid Prime and Halo, like I think those two franchises specifically have the tools to make that happen. Where, you know, especially in Halo, and maybe we'll talk about this on Arsenal X this week. Or maybe we already did. I don't know, because this episode comes out after Arsenal X. But like, you take the archetypes of the weapons in Halo, you know, and you can either be a Spartan 2, 3, or 4, where Spartan 2 is kind of like the all-around kind of... Well, the Spartan 2s are, like, bigger. They're stronger. They can take more hits. The Spartan 3s are kind of... Like, you look at Halo Reach, they're kind of more well-rounded type Spartans. It's the next stage. And then you look at Halo 4 and the introduction of the Spartan 4s, and they're, like... Maybe they're smarter. Maybe they have more armor abilities. Maybe they can, you know, like that. So kind
different attributes.
Yeah, and like, but maybe in the multiplayer component, where in Metroid, if L2 is scan, and then, you know, instead of aim down sights, but then you move it over to the multiplayer component, maybe that's where you add aim down sights instead of scanning. You know, you add those kinds of modern developments for a multiplayer game in this Metroid universe, and I think that's where that would fit. So yeah, I do want a Metroid Prime Federation Force style game for Switch. I want it to be more fleshed out. I want it to be more realized, you know, similar to the jump from Destiny to Destiny 2. I think Destiny 2 feels more lived in. I think getting quests and seeing quest givers in the open world spaces. I would even go almost say maybe even go more Borderlands in Destiny, where like each town you see in a specific area, there's people in the town that you get quests from, and then you go on the missions based on these people in the town. I think that would feel more Nintendo than Destiny does. Like, right. Not saying like make Metroid Borderlands. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like the way the worlds are structured, where you go to this town,
each zone
there's two
that
or
you go to.
Yeah, each zone there's 2 or 3 quest givers in this zone, and then you go perform quests for them to get better loot, like that kind of stuff. And then you can go and get cool helmets for your bounty hunters. You can get cool chest pieces. You can get different gauntlets and shoulder pads and legs, and like maybe an arm cannon, or maybe like melee weapons would be a cool addition to a Metroid style game.
Well, definitely with the lore of the Chozo, you know, me and Larry was talking about this, that I have wondered why, like, there was a lot of Chozo statues in the Metroid universe that hold powers and stuff, and it looked like every place that she go, she get her powers from that particular Chozo. And Larry was talking about, well, they were known to be as nomads. So maybe when you go to these different zones, these other explorers are trying to look for more of the Chozo powers.
Right.
And because, you know, they can't get to it, but you can. They know you as a bounty hunter, or they know you guys as bounty hunters. You could do almost the same thing at Sims and get those powers and stuff, and still have that Metroid flair, but you know, using that Destiny 2 gameplay and Destiny 2 gameplay and things like that.
Yeah. And plus, like, they could do something cool the way Destiny does, like Lost Sectors.
Yes.
Like, maybe you need to go to this other planet, complete this mission, and find the loot from that planet to come back and blow open this door so you can explore more on this planet. Like,
yes.
Like, that's where, like, the Metroid-y stuff comes in, where, like, yeah, you progress through the story, and there's a little bit of this in Destiny where like you go to another planet and you need to do this stuff first before you can go back and do something on this other planet. But like this would be more like, oh, I found like this really cool proximity bomb where like you need to, like, maybe there's some enemies that are walking around the store that you need to blow up, but they only are affected by this certain type of bomb, and you go in to like another planet, you get these proximity bombs, plant them on the door, and when they're like they're guarding the door, and like once like they walk by this bomb, they blow up and it takes their shields down, and then you can shoot them. You know, stuff like that I think would be really cool to see. So yeah, I do want to see I want to see this game. It would, a game like this that I could play with like you or Larry or Jesse or, you know, anybody else who has a Switch, like I think that'd be cool to see. And like it would build a bigger sense of community because people like Metroid, and like I don't know if you would use this to supplement Metroid Prime 4, but I think they could actually get away with selling this as a separate package. Mm-hmm. But if they did that, they'd need to sell it after Metroid Prime 4, just because, like, well, maybe Samus Returns ease the Metroid pain a little bit, but like,
I think with the Metroid pain, I think people wanted just a regular Metroid game, and the problem is that what they got, they didn't expect or they didn't want. I'm like, well, you guys just, when people just say, I want a Metroid game, you got to realize if you're just going to be that basic, if Nintendo announced a Metroid game, but it's a side game and stuff, if you only just mention that you want a Metroid game, and you get that, well, Nintendo actually delivered. Mm-hmm. Now they did. Now you don't. Now some people are like, well, I want a 2DS Metroid game, or not 2DS. I want a 2D or a Prime game. Okay, if you're gonna say that, then state that. But no. But I'm like, but no. If you just say I want a Metroid game, and Nintendo gives it, and that's what the game is going to be, it's going to be up to you. I mean, just don't make a quick judgment about it. Like, maybe pick it up and try it. You know, if there isn't no demo, but your friend is interested in playing it, play his version or her version and see if you like it or not.
Which is something Nintendo's been really good about, too, is providing demos for games that maybe they aren't sure are going to sell well. Maybe if you, like, give them a little taste of this game, maybe, like, Metroid Prime 4 comes out, and it comes with a demo of that game.
Right.
And let people try it and be like, oh, yeah, this really is interesting. And then Nintendo comes out later and kind of explains what they are trying to do with this game and be like, yeah, we've looked at games with services. It seems like a value to us to put this into a universe that people love. Like, maybe not name games specifically, but even if they went out and said, hey, we've looked at the model Destiny is using, we've looked at the model that the Division is using, Rainbow Six Siege, like we've looked at these different models of games with services, and we think that this is a good fit for a multiplayer game that we want to play. Like, I mean, it doesn't even have to be Metroid. It could be Splatoon, like whatever the next evolution of Splatoon is. It could be that. It could be those are really the only two Nintendo franchises that come to mind that would really fit
Geist.
that. But like, yeah, Geist 2, Electric Boogaloo,
or
like Boogaloo,
or actually, maybe Microsoft and Nintendo can team up and get Jet Force Gemini 2 to be that.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, I really do think that Metroid is a good fit just because, like, the bounty hunter aspect fits really well. They could build lore around it. There's a lot of different races in Metroid that would allow you to do that, like the Chozos and, like, Metroids. And, and then there's a lot of cool aspects to, like, if you want to build, like, a Destiny-type strike thing, like, there's a lot of different bosses you could use, like, mini-bosses you could use. You could use, like, build a raid around... Mother Brain would be a cool raid aspect.
That's what I was thinking of. Like Federation Force 2 could be where they are rebuilding Mother Brain, because I believe the Prime games are supposed to take place before Metroid even happens. I think.
I don't know the timeline. We'd have to ask Larry.
We'd have to ask Larry. Because that would...
Tweet
that
at
would,
Larry Giver
that would
at
literally...
world_1 podcast.
I think that would literally be a nice fit to the Metroid series with Federation Force 2. Is that these guys are trying to stop the space pirates and all these other groups from building Mother Brain. And even though you get to the end part where you're fighting them, and it looks like you defeat them, but you actually don't, because Mother Brain is still, comes to fruition.
Well, it's like I'm gonna spoil some Destiny raid lore here, so if you want to not hear this and you're playing Destiny, skip ahead like
Destiny 2.
Yeah, Destiny 2. 2 or 3 minutes, but like, okay, spoilers starting now. The Destiny 2 raid, you're supposed to be fighting the Cabal Emperor and is the final boss. Well, halfway through that fight, you realize that you're fighting a robotic mannequin of the Cabal Emperor. And then once you beat it, you go down into this chamber, and it's just like the long hallway on each side. You just see like the Star Wars Episode 1 like droid, like the things that come down and spread out and unleash like hundreds of droids at the same time. Like, you see that, but it's the Cabal Emperor robots. And like they just transfer into the new suit, like this new robotic suit. But like, you learn through the lore of Destiny 2 that it's like, well, he's this, whatever the Cabal Emperor is, he's part Vex, which they all share the same mind, like a hive mind, where they all are thinking and know what every other Vex in the whole world is doing at the same time. And like, you learn that in this, and that's going to be an interesting thing that we see play out in Destiny 2. But like, that could be the same thing as like Mother Brain or some of these other awesome characters that Metroid has done. But like, maybe it's, you're not fighting Mother Brain, maybe it's like a henchman brain. But you know what I'm saying, like,
yes.
So but yeah, I want to see this really bad, like I really do. And I think Nintendo has the ideas and the ability to make this type of game accessible to people. Like Destiny 2, I feel like has done a good job of making the game more accessible to new players. And that's kind of like the struggle right now. A lot of people are toying with is like, longtime fans don't think Destiny 2 is hardcore enough because it's too accessible to new players. But I think Bungie did do a good job of making Destiny 2 accessible to new players and having them actually understand what each currency does and how to dismantle weapons and what infusion is. And as you progress, you learn these different mechanics and like what each of the vanguards do for you, what the gunsmith does for you.
Because Destiny wasn't accessible to a lot of casual players because it didn't explain nothing. Yeah, and because a lot of people, I feel like with Destiny, is that you heard Bungie, makers of Halo, and that's all people heard. Because they heard that, then they were just like, well, Destiny is going to be pretty much like Halo. And so, because I'm a big Halo person, I know what I'm doing. When I play Destiny, I'll be able to click in, and it's not like that. Like, I still don't know all of Destiny, and I played the whole game.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I hope Nintendo kind of.
Yeah. Well, at COD Fan FF, I'll be buying it if it ever comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely buy it. I think it's a good opportunity for them to see this game as a service and apply it to a franchise that, I think it could work both ways, where like Metroid fans will play this game.
Yes.
But this game could appeal to an audience that likes these games for service type games and introduce them to the Metroid series, where they're like, well, Metroid isn't exactly as popular as Zelda or Mario to most people, and so it'll allow new players to come in and be like, oh, this Metroid game is actually kind of cool.
Right. So. It's able to expand the universe.
Yeah.
The Metroid series.
Yep. So. Okay, well, I think is that our last? No, we got one more question from Marcus Van Meter.
Yeah.
What games have you put aside? What games have you put aside because you've been so immersed in one game now?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've actually have put aside Tokyo Mirage Session, Paper Mario Color Splash, Breath of the Wild. I put a lot of games on almost every platform, even with Sony and Xbox One. Even Switch. I put that all aside now because I'm playing Metroid Samus Return. Like, I even took out Dragon Quest VIII, and I have been immersed with that game, putting everything aside. But then Samus Return came, and honestly, because I've been making progress with that game, I just been immersed playing it. So I'm playing that more than I'm playing Destiny 2. So there's a lot of games that I need to return back. And you even heard me on shows that said that I need to get back to this game. I need to get back. Like Tokyo Mirage Session, I should be immersed in that game right now than anything else. And I'm not, because of Samus Returns.
Right. Yeah. I think, I said that I put I'm in the opposite boat where, like, I put Samus Returns kind of on the back burner because I want to be able to, like, at some point, probably in the next month, probably like mid-October, I'm going to try to play and beat Samus Returns the week before Fire Emblem Warriors comes out.
Yes.
Because that's going to be a Nintendo game that I'm going to be super immersed in, right? I love Fire Emblem. I think putting it in a game like a style game like this is a smart idea. Them playing off the relationships and adding people to your armies, I think this is a natural progression from a turn-based strategy RPG to a action-based game. I think it's a really cool idea.
It's so weird how Hyrule Warriors started all of this.
Yeah, I think I didn't know how I felt about the Zelda universe moving in that direction, and like Hyrule Warriors was a good game, but I think Fire Emblem fits that style game better than Zelda.
Well, it was a surprise to everybody that Hyrule Warrior did what it did. It was a laughing stock. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, yeah, Hyrule Warriors sold a lot. It guaranteed people on how strong that Nintendo Season Pass was doing. But Rock came back into play. Everybody loves the soundtrack, and it really jumped everybody back into the Warrior series. So it actually worked out more for Tecmo Koei than it did anybody else. Because look at Gundam, we got the other Dynasty Warriors games. Like, people were now back into this genre of game.
Yeah, it's I'm really excited for that. But like, I've been trying to grind through little by little of Mario plus Rabbids. But Destiny's kind of been the game that I've been kind of super immersed in right now, and Destiny 2, I know I said I was going to play it differently than Destiny 1, but the fact that they changed so many parts of that game that made it better and more user friendly and more just cohesive in terms of story and what you need to do to game progression, and like the side adventures and the lost sectors are cool ideas. I wish they would have been a little bit more fleshed out, but those are cool ideas, and making public events actually viable, where you're running through this world and all of a sudden you see like 3 or 4 guys jump into this blue diamond because that's where the public events are, and you're like, oh man, that means something's coming in. Let's try to take down this giant beast together. And you go down and you figure out how to unlock the heroic public event, which gives you more rewards. And it's like, man, this is cool. I think like, that's just cool. And that's what public events, they wanted them to be in the first game, but like, they never did anything with them after you hit level 20 in Destiny, like vanilla Destiny. And then, there's a trophy for doing 50 public events. I did that like there's the year 1 triumph book where like it gave you a list of things to do
to
get this cool emblem and shader and stuff. And one of them was do the 50 public events, and I remember I didn't even complete the 50 public events until like 3 days before this thing was over, and it was like a year in. So I'm like, wow. Oh yeah, I guess I should do that now. But Destiny's kind of pushed some games out of the way. But that being said, like I'm still playing my Switch. Like I'm still finding the time to play Switch. Like yesterday, I played Destiny a lot yesterday, but I found time to play FIFA on Switch.
Right.
And like, you know, I've been going back to Mario Rabbids periodically. I played through the Octopath Traveler, so the Switch has kind of made it easier to find time to not put games aside when you're playing something else. But at the same time, it's like there's only so many hours in the day, and like, you know, there's certain days where my raid team in Destiny can do certain things, and it's just like
you try your best to dedicate your time to work on games, on one particular game, work on your backlog. But, you know, like me and you, we jump around because there's something in the game that we have to talk about, or there's some kind of topic or theme on one of our shows that we have to cover. So it's kind of hard to stick with one game. Like, I'm still going back through my PS3 backlog trying to finish games. And I have, like, to actually tell y'all the truth, I have about 55 plus games on my PS3 alone that I need to finish. I have 46 plus games on my Wii that I need to finish. Like,
yeah, there just comes a point where like probably like a year ago, remember when I was making all those like lists of games that I think I like need to have on these systems and stuff, and I was looking at those lists, I was just like, at some point you just have to like move on from like the previous generation, and like, yeah, if we need to talk about something, I will hunt down a game, buy it, play it a little bit. Like, I'm sure when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I will hunt down a copy of either the Metroid Prime trilogy, or like bust out my GameCube and play Metroid Prime 1 and 2 at some point, or, you know, revisit Super Metroid on the SNES Classic. Like,
if you have your Wii U, you got the Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. You can buy it on the Wii U. But, you know, there just comes a point where I'm just like, I need to just step away from this because I'm just going to obsess over this. And, like,
yes,
I still do that a little bit. I've done a lot better of, like, trying to pick and choose what I want to play and what games I'm going to invest in.
Right.
You know, and I've kind of just narrowed those checklists down to Nintendo titles because Nintendo's really important to me as opposed to Xbox or PlayStation. But PlayStation and Xbox have done a better job for me of giving me 3 or 4 franchises to really care about.
Yes.
And be invested in those franchises instead of every single game that comes out. You know, I'm really invested in Horizon. So when Horizon 2 comes out, or, you know, whatever's next for that franchise, I'll be there day one getting it.
Me too.
Halo 6 comes out, I'm there day one. Gears of War, definitely there day one.
Yes.
Like, those franchises give me a purpose to stick with a franchise longer than... But when you get to Nintendo, it's like, we grew up playing Nintendo games, and having a big Nintendo collection was important to us. So,
right.
You know, there are systems and games that I'm like, I would like to have this game in my collection, in my Nintendo collection. Super Metroid, Link to the Past, Metroid Prime, Mario Sunshine, Mario 64. Like, and then you get obscure ones like Eternal Darkness or ActRaiser, or, you know, I'm not obscure, but like, you know what I mean, like lesser known titles for those games, and Rogue Squadron and Wave Race. Like, Nintendo does a great job in allowing people to invest in more than 1 or 2 of their franchises, to the point where, like, that's how you get connected and have these huge libraries of games for Nintendo consoles. Is like, I care about Zelda just as much as I care about Metroid, and just as much as I care about Fire Emblem, just as much as I care about Mario.
Exactly.
And like, Kirby's a cool, like, I don't really care about Kirby games, but I am invested in Nintendo so much that I'm just like,
I'll pick it up.
I'll pick it up and check it out at least. You know, Kirby titles usually run a little bit cheaper than the other games. Like, Rainbow Curse was only $40, but then you get games that just look so beautiful when you play them. Like Yoshi's Woolly World is a game where, like, okay, honestly, the last like really great Yoshi game was Yoshi's Island. Like, I mean, the other ones were good, but the last one you really cared about was Yoshi's Island and that color palette and the music.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 still looks beautiful. Like Pikmin 3 made people say, "This is what Nintendo could do with HD," and be like, "Yeah,
best fruit ever,
best water ever too."
Yeah,
their water looks like good night, Nintendo. Man. Really, y'all made water look this good?
Yeah, and it's just like you get so invested in the fact that Nintendo just has this collector mentality to it as being a fan. Where like I don't care to collect every PlayStation game. Honestly, like I could care less if I had a PlayStation library of like 15 games. Right? There's Horizon, there's Destiny, there's The Order. For me, I really like The Order. There's Infamous. Like, okay, those are great. God of War looks okay too, but like, God of War didn't really give me a reason to care about the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I really love specific games in that franchise. Like God of War 2, I think is one of the best games for PS2. The gameplay's fast, it's solid. The graphics were amazing at the time. That first mission where you're fighting the giant Colossus and trying to take it down before you lose all of your powers is like the best thing on PS2. I can't believe that game was running on PS2. But at the same time, it's like, for me, God of War 3 was okay. Ascension wasn't great. The PSP titles, like, I didn't even play them until they came to PS3. Like,
pretty much.
Like, I just don't care about those games the way I do every time. I don't get excited for those games the way I, like, Zelda's coming out, Mario's coming out, Fire Emblem's coming out. Like,
you could go back and still watch Nintendo trailers and still just be hyped and surprised when they come out. When's the last time you checked out a PlayStation trailer or Microsoft trailer for a game? It's like,
I mean, sometimes like when they're in my news feed of Facebook or something, I'll stop and watch it for a little bit, but I'm not going to go out of my way to find the trailers the way I do like the Nindies that come out, or you know, when they released the story trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or they released the it wasn't a trailer, but it was like this background video on the way they changed some of this art in Xenoblade, where like this was what it looked like when we showed it in January, this is what it looks like now, and the differences are like, they're phenomenal. There's better lighting, there's better shading, textures in the faces, there's better animation. Like, you know, it just they do a good job of showing progress in their games too. Like when Digital Foundry released, like, okay, so the E3 build of Mario Odyssey was 720p. Nintendo gave us a new build and it now runs at 900p docked. Like, those are things that people care about, and like, also the collector aspect of Nintendo is just like, you know, I mean, you know, it's just it's fun. So.
Yeah. But that's what we've been immersed in, and we will return to those games that we talk about. I think sometimes when we like finish this game, be like, okay, now it's time to jump in, because that's kind of what made 2017 journey hard for me. It's just like, this hot game is out right now, but now this other hot game is coming out, and I'm still playing this other hot game, and it's just like, bam, 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 great titles have been released. And it's just like, jumping around to be dedicated to one game is hard.
Yeah.
Because you kind of want to play with everybody else playing it for some games, not all the games.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to see a series or titles succeed, because you want to show that company that we want more of this kind of support for this console.
Right.
Definitely like with Nintendo Switch. Like even past episodes when we talked about Wii U, and I feel like, people, please go get Tokyo Mirage Session, go get Xenoblade Chronicles and stuff, because I'm like, these are games that we want to show Nintendo that we want more of.
Right. So. And like, it all started for me, like, from a collector's aspect. For me, like, I was just getting old enough to realize, like, I want a collection of good, solid games for my Nintendo consoles, and that started with me for N64. Mostly because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so after 64 came out, I had Sega Genesis, and I had all the good Genesis games. But but like, you know, having a good solid, not like a complete library, but a good solid library to go back and reminisce about. And like, people still are buying Nintendo 64s. People are still buying GameCubes to play these games, and it's just the Nintendo thing to do. But like, yeah, immersing yourself in it. I'm more immersed in the company of Nintendo than I am any other company, and that's why I make time for the Nintendo games I want to play.
Yes.
So, yeah. That was our last question.
That was our last question. We did it.
Yeah. Man, this is gonna be a fun show to edit. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but Ed, this has been fun doing a couple podcasts like in person. You finally being here, and like, we've got a lot of other things planned while you're here. We're gonna do some Let's Pod and Plays, some of which are already up. We're gonna do a couple Destiny ones with Jesse for Arsenal X. We're gonna do maybe some Wii U and Switch ones tomorrow. Like, there's a few that I want to do while you're here, so we can actually like sit down and do them, not worry about Skype fizzling out or anything. Yeah. So a lot of Nintendo stuff coming up. I do want to take a look at FIFA. Let's Pod and Play. Maybe some of them won't be very long. Maybe we'll just title them generic Let's Plays, but like, I just want to give them something to look forward to, because these aren't all going to come out at the same time, or I'm going to space them out, whatever.
Right.
Maybe we'll do some Tokyo Mirage sessions. Maybe we'll do some Xenoblade Chronicles X. My Wii's over there somewhere. Maybe we'll do some Sonic Mania. We'll do some Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap. You reviewed that game for us. Like, maybe we'll do some of that. Maybe we'll do some Fast RMX Snake Pass. Like, I really want to dive into some of the Switch stuff, and maybe do like 15 or 20 minutes on some of these games.
Yes.
And so, but that's going to wrap it up for us. We have Optional Opinion to record. My wife's 10-year reunion is tonight, so I need to get ready for that. But yeah, this has been really fun, Ed. I'm glad you're here.
Yes, and everybody, I will be returning in the future here.
Yeah.
Until you get your house, I should say.
Yeah.
And a little Dirrig is around. But I will be returning back to the AGR headquarters sometime in the future. So we can deliver more of a live episode for you guys.
Yeah. Well, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at you can find me at Twitter at that retro code. Also, thank you guys for checking out the Beauty of Video Games. The blogs are up on IGN.com, so you can check that out and listen to the podcast of those episodes. I actually want to thank Corey Hudson for Dirrig for coming on. He did the Beauty of Handhelds. Shout out to Josh Brent for doing the Beauty of Arcades, and to my special guest Eric M. Hunter. Thank you for coming on the show, giving the eulogy, the final word for the project. I truly did enjoy it. Volume 4, I'm getting ready for planning that out in my head for next year, so do check out those episodes. Also, by the time you guys see this episode, the new season of Optional Opinion will be getting ready to roll out, so you guys will hear new music, new topics, new guests from other podcasts, some new plugs and stuff like that. So I cannot wait for that to roll out. I was going to do it on October 6th, but due to some technical difficulties, I have to push it back. But I will be letting you guys know when it'll be rolling out. So check that out for a new season of Optional Opinion. You guys can follow me also on the Facebook page at Arsenal X and at the NGR Radio Community Creators Block, NGR Facebook page, and check me out on more Pow Block.
Yeah. You can find me at Corey and UHD on Twitter. You can find me at Corey and HD on Instagram and Twitch. I'm excited to do some Let's Pod and Plays. I'm also working on a new show for myself. I don't know if it's going to be outside NGR or not, but like, it's something that I feel like I want to do. It might not be a weekly show. It might just be like I don't know. There might be 2 a week. There might be a week where there's not one. I'm not sure really how it's going to go yet, but I am planning that, and Ed's going to be my first guest kind of in a trial run of this show. episode 0, maybe we'll call it. But I kind of want to go through things that, I'm going to have guests on that are maybe not into video games, and maybe we'll talk about other things like Indiana Jones or movies in general, or like what makes music important to people, or it's still going to be a lot about stuff that I'm interested in personally. Maybe a lot of video games stuff, but not all video games. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to call it Corey in HD, and it's going to be a video series on. I don't know if it's going to be on NGR yet. I know I've been wanting to do some personal things for a while, so yeah. So, but other than that, you can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com, facebook.com/groups/nintendopowblock. Ed and I are both in there, as well as Jesse and the rest of the NGR Radio gang. Check out our family of shows: Arsenal X, Nerds Gone Platinum, NGR Radio, World 1-1. Check out our partners at the Brew Review, Matt and the B Flats. Check out our friends' shows. Like I said earlier, we deal with a lot of other communities, so I want to just give a quick shout out to those shows. Nerd Overdrive, when they decide to go, when Lee, I need your audio episodes, bro. They do their Facebook live shows now every Friday or Saturday. Secret Friends Unite podcast, definitely make sure you listen to that. Fathers of the Grind is a really good show that we've been friends with, and I think like Matt and John and Moose have been friends with them for a long time, and I'm getting more involved in their community as well. So those are some major shows that I want to give a shout out to. So I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Please look forward to our future content. We got a lot of cool stuff planned that we're going to try to fit all this in the next day and a half.
Yes.
So I see a lot of energy drink and Taco Bell runs in our near future tonight. So
yes.
So anyways, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope the microphone cords held up. You might hear a stitch here or there in the last couple episodes. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to edit them out the best I can. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Ed, I'm glad you're here. And until next time.
Everybody, please have a great week and a great weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Play video games. Have fun.
Yes. And we are out. Oh, I forgot.
Whoa.
Everybody.
Bonus.
Everybody. Please try, if you haven't tried out, please let us know how you guys think about the Star Wars Battlefield 2 demo. It released today, so we haven't.
Does that come out?
Yes.
Well, I guess it would be Friday, right?
It's the 6th. It's this episode's release.
Okay.
So, you guys are probably going to be playing it on the weekend. Go to the NGR Radio Facebook page, Nerds Gone Raw Facebook page, and let us know what you guys think. Even though the show is early before it's released, I'm going to try to hop in on both PlayStation and on Xbox, and I kind of want to interact with you guys and see what you think about it.
Yeah, maybe that's something we'll talk about on Arsenal X next week.
Yes.
Next weekend. So, this weekend, I guess. When this episode is. Yes. I got it. The timing for these episodes is weird. But email ArsenalX at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think of the Star Wars beta, because I know me and Jesse will be talking about it, and I'm sure you'll play it, even though you're not the biggest Star Wars fan. But I really liked Battlefront 1, despite all the things it was lacking. Like the gameplay and the environments and the character models were amazingly detailed. So, but we'll talk about that on Arsenal X. So, anyways, bye everybody.
Bye. Woohoo!